The Miz worked hard, just like Kofi, and he doesn't see why Kofi can't just pull himself up by the kickpads and grab that brass ring. God, I hope the show gets canceled again.
Pro Wrestling Bits. Subscribe now.
The Miz put a perfectly pedicured foot in his mouth this past week with the unheralded return of Talking Smack. It's a good thing WWE, or The Miz for that matter, isn't relevant anymore in mainstream pop culture, because if it was, Miz's rant was the type of filth that could have earned him Donkey of the Day. Talking Smack was home to the Miz's career-saving promo that launched him back into relevancy in WWE in 2017. But this little moment he shared with Big E was the opposite, because for me, this was the worst moment of the Miz's career. Yes, even worse than Stephanie McMahon burying him on national television by calling him a utility player. How do you spell Stockholm Syndrome? M-I-Z. The Miz towed one company line after another, nonsensically lecturing Big E about how Kofi has nobody to blame but himself for falling to the tag team division, and because the Miz had the same fall from grace after losing the WWE title, their circumstances are similar. Because at the end of the day, Etor, everybody's just 5 seconds away from that moment that could make them a world champion again. Will somebody dump the batteries out of this WWE wind-up doll? The Miz looked like a white Ray Charles, shout out to him, wearing sunglasses indoors along with an impressive blazer, drip drip. And that's not even where the Ray Charles comparisons stop, because the Miz's Talking Smack rant was filled with racial blind spots. The Miz and Kofi Kingston's trajectories couldn't have been any different. In fact, not only are they opposites, they're telling examples of the struggles of black wrestlers in WWE and a microcosm of being black in America. The Miz, after initially being written off as a joke, did work hard. To this day, he does work hard. But early in his career, he was handsomely rewarded for it. In a time where social media wasn't as prevalent in WWE and the promotion had complete control over its audience, the machine spoon-fed its fans with the like it or not diet of The Miz. They groomed him and put him on a meticulously designed path to superstardom. First, they gave him the US Championship, then he won the Trophy of White Excellence, otherwise known as Money in the Bank. From there, Miz successfully cashed in on one of the biggest stars in WWE history in Randy Orton, and he went on to successfully defend that title in the main event of WrestleMania 27 against the biggest star in the company at the time in John Cena. In fact, this marked the first time in John Cena's career that he ever lost a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. That's how far this company went out of its way to give Miz every opportunity to succeed at the level of a John Cena. Kofi Kingston wasn't given anything. In fact, his WWE Championship run wasn't even supposed to happen. Kofi needed Mustafa Ali and Kevin Owens to get hurt before even having a chance at the Elimination Chamber and later the WWE title. Kofi Kingston only got that chance when he made the best out of his 5 seconds inside the Elimination Chamber and became an 11-year overnight sensation. Kofi Mania trended. At a time where now social media is king, WWE couldn't control its fans and they had no choice but to make Kofi Kingston WWE champion against gritted teeth. But not because they gave him that opportunity, because he was undeniable. Kofi Kingston, one of the greatest athletes in WWE history, had to become a whole hashtag in order to even get his shot at the WWE title. The Miz, who has an average physique and is nothing special in the ring, got that same opportunity because he can cut a promo. That's the difference, Mike. Not all opportunities are created equal, and for some in WWE, they're downright impossible. The Rock is a black and Samoan man who became WWE champion, but he's also arguably the most charismatic man who ever lived and unarguably the biggest movie star on the planet. You know what that tells me? As a black man, if you want to be WWE champion, you better be the biggest movie star on the planet like The Rock, otherwise don't bother. No black man in WWE present day is pushed harder than Bobby Lashley. Lashley is an absolute monster on Raw, and he recently received an elusive world title shot against Drew McIntyre. But he has the greatest physique I've ever seen in pro wrestling. You know what that tells me? If you want to be one of the rare black men to receive a WWE title shot, you better have the greatest physique of all time, otherwise don't bother. Mark Henry is a former world champion, but he's also literally the world's strongest man. You know what that tells me? You get it. GOAT comedian Chris Rock once said the black man has to fly to something the white man could walk to. The Miz is the last person who should be lecturing any minority about opportunities. Mike Mizanin is just a guy. He doesn't have the greatest physique in the world, he's not the world's strongest man, and his legacy certainly won't be tied to his athleticism. He's just a guy who cuts a good promo, has the right look, worked hard, and as a result got every legitimate opportunity to be a big star before WWE had buyer's remorse. And now he's singing songs on SmackDown with Morrison. But the Miz's opportunities are nothing like Kofi Kingston's. And if he or anybody truly believes that everybody has the same opportunity to succeed in this company, regardless of what they look look like, then he needs to provide me a list of all the mediocre black wrestlers who got the type of opportunities that mediocre Mike did. If there's any comparable example of a white wrestler having to be undeniable and needing an organic revolution to become a WWE champion, it's not The Miz, it's Daniel Bryan. But just so you know, just like that last time on Talking Smack, Daniel Bryan is definitely not on The Miz's side here.